Hi, welcome back to CHENG'S Aquarium, and today we're going to be talking about some Petco plants that I got picked up. So I actually have a few more than this, but these are the 5 that we're going to be talking about. I bought them in these little starting cultures, I think culture is what they call it. And I'm going to show you how I personally set them up. I'm not saying I'm an expert or anything like that, but this is the way I will personally set it up because it's easy, cheap, and just easy basically. Anyway, so they come in these little packages. It's a little hard container, and they just come with a sealed piece of plastic on top of it. And now if I can take this out, it would be nice. Hands are a little wet, but here you go. So they come in these little plastic containers with this wrap on top, but they also have this little gel inside. I don't know if you can really see it in there. It's really clear, but to put this clear gel, actually now you can see a little more. Now, what I usually do is I have to get rid of this gel because I know it has some nutritional value in it, whatever it is, but I don't think it really helps. This one's actually pretty bad. It has a little brown on it already. But what I do is I would usually rinse this out in the sink, but I'll just dump it in this container that I have here with water. So it's completely out. And then I have the plant, which I will also rinse off from the gel because the gel gets stuck into the roots. Now what I use is just some plain old gravel. I've heard that sand, I would think sand would make more sense than gravel, but I'm going to be using gravel because I've heard that it's easier for the roots to grow in between the rocks and stuff like that, and the gravel is just there to hold it down basically. So what I'm going to do is spread out the roots a little bit, open up the plant a little bit. And for this one, actually, I'm going to leave it into the same exact container they came into. See these little brown little leaves in there? I'm trying to separate them because they come off pretty easily. Now, if they're anything like regular plants, like ones that they'll go into the water, usually when you cut off the leaves, off the dead leaves, it would focus bringing the energy onto the ones that are already living to grow more and expand. And then when you take off the dead ones, they're no longer providing energy or nutrients to the dead leaves. So what I would do is just rinse it off, get a little bit of my gravel. It's just some rocks, really. I put some on the bottom in there, and then I put my little roots, which this really doesn't have any. It just kind of sucks, but we're gonna hope for the best that it grows, right? And then I'm actually gonna put a little bit more of rocks. A few more rocks in there would be good. And then make a little hole in between the rocks, and then what I do is just put rocks around it, holding the plant down. And in the water, this will actually expand. So what I'm gonna do is just let some water get in there, and go on to the next one. Here's another one. This comes in a 4-pack, by the way. Well, this one can open up much easier. Again, I'm just gonna take off all the plastic. And then try to see if I can get this guy out without ripping any leaves. Oh, this guy has like almost no gel. There's like nothing in here. Man. These are just the roots, but even the roots aren't supposed to be that color. It's supposed to be like a whitish. Whatever. Diego picked the little plants, right? So here we go. Now we've rinsed off whatever gel is left in there. Now for this one, I'm actually gonna use a different cup because this is a lot to be put in one little cup. I know they had them in there, but I want them to grow a little faster, so I'm gonna give them some more space. Oh, shit. One came off. 2 came off actually. Make sure whatever comes off, let it come off. I don't want it to be coming loose inside the aquarium that I have. So for this guy, I'm actually gonna use a bigger cup. one of these just plastic dollar store. They come in a bag. I'm cheap for some stuff at least. So what I'm gonna do is just fill it up with a bunch of gravel. Give it enough space for these roots to grow up. And then what we're gonna do is just put this guy in there, and around these roots, around this plant actually in general, I'm gonna put a little more so you can get more sunlight. Not sunlight. Well, actually, yeah, sunlight. Opening this guy a little bit, have some space in there. There we go. Now what we're gonna do is put some rocks around it. Again, same setup as I did for the other plant. Nothing new here, just making sure the rocks don't cover the leaves, which provide, this could just plop right out. So I've noticed the longer that they've been in these little containers, the easier they plop out. I think it's because they're not as healthy, because they're not supposed to be in these containers for actually that long. So plop out the gel, wash it a little bit, rinse it a little bit, make sure there's no gel left in there. Again, same process. You grab a little bit of these rocks, dump them in there. Yeah, perfect. Now we grab our little plant. I'm gonna put a little bit more. That might be a little too much. I want to make sure I have enough space to put it around so this guy don't come up. Plastic. Again, the only reason why I put them around just like this, it's so they don't float up off after I rooted them in. Again, the rocks don't have to be like the way, you could do it however you want. I just do it like this because I'm cheap. These come with these containers. I think it gives them enough space for them roots to grow inside. And at the same time, it has enough to get the sunlight or the light that I'm going to use for them to grow out. So what's our next plant? Let's see. Again, so I guess this, I feel like I've done this plant already. It looks kind of like a moss. It's kind of cool. It's starting to get a little annoying because these, there we go. It's actually kind of funny. It smelled a little sweet. Whatever. There we go. Plopped him out. All the gel came out actually in one shot. Just rinse it off. And now you got this little ball of whatever you want to call it. But it's weird because I don't see where the roots are. That's, I'm assuming this little, nah, this can't be the roots. That is ridiculous. I don't even know how to do this. Wow. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna hope for the best. So, again, same process I'm gonna do for all the plants. Fill this one up with a little more. Again, the rocks are there just to hold him down. I want to make sure that there's enough leaves sticking out, because this is a really small plant, but those leaves are what collects the sunlight and uses it for energy, photosynthesis. Anyway, he's done. I mean, it doesn't look that nice right now, but I guess when he gets a little bigger and in the water, I know they move around a little bit with the current or the waves, whatever you want to call it. So now it's our next and final where is it? Oh, it's right in front of me actually. So this is our last plant that I'm going to be doing on video. Actually, Is it me? I think there's water in here. It's still sealed. And there's water in here. That's not normal. Usually there's no water. But what are you gonna do? Let's get this guy up really quick. I don't know if it's the gel that melted or whatever it is, but here it comes. No, I think it's the gel that's coming apart. Because that thing just came right off. Now, again, this is the reason why I picked this one. See the amount of roots on this? This guy looks like he's going to be set to go. This is going to be really cool. Now, for him, I'm going to use, again, the bigger cup that I have. Same exact process. I just feel like this guy's gonna grow really big just because of these roots. So we're gonna get a grab. Put them in there. Now these gravel, again, I picked gravel because of that, but another reason is that I just have a bunch of gravel from old tanks and stuff like that. And they're not my favorite looking gravel, so it's fine with me. I'm not really wasting it for something else. I've become more of a fan of sand now. It's just a personal preference for most of my fish tanks anyway. So since I have this gravel laying around, I'm gonna just put it all around. Use it, might as well reuse it for something else. They're good to go. Now, while I was doing this, I've noticed that a lot of these little pieces have fallen off from the other plants. And I actually have one. I thought I had two. Oh yeah, see, I have two more of these little containers left because I used the two bigger plastic cups. So what I'm gonna do is fill these up with those rocks and actually place the loose plants in there and hope they grow. Now, the main reason that most people like picking this is because I've heard that people get extra ones. They get like extra leaves, extra plants, a lot more than normal, which is kind of cool. So here we go. See, like little, where did you just go? See, like this just came off another one. Has roots and everything. It's just really small. So what we're gonna do here is grab, again, a little bit of gravel, get rid of that water, put a little bit of rocks in there. And grab this little guy. A little more. Now we're gonna take some of these out, place these right on top. Get to go in there. Actually, I'm gonna put you separate because you're too small to actually be in there with them. So perfect. Now I know it's kind of sad. It's just one little plant, but I'm hoping it grows. So, and again, I got those containers for free. Now I do have a few more in here. If I can find them, it'd be nice. I'm actually gonna mix two different plants together right now. So you can see this kind of plant and this one. I'm gonna put them in the same pot together and hopefully they grow. Again, this is a lot of hoping for me because I've had success with regular plants like home plants, flowers, roses, whatever, but never really done aquatic plants because I just heard they're a hassle, and if you don't really want them, it's cool too. But I've realized that the plants actually make it easier to maintain a fish tank because what's it called, they clean up the tank. Also, they take away some nitrates. They produce oxygen underwater as well, just like they do out of the water. But like regular plants, they help clean up, they help cycle the tank. It's just a bunch of positive stuff, to be honest. So here goes my plan at doing this. Here's my way of doing this, at least. Perfect. Those are all done. Do I have any other more in here? Because I do not want to waste any plant that I could save. Oh shoot, look at this. I have one more of this that came from this plant. Wow, did I run out of little containers? Well, that sucks. Kind of don't want to open. Okay, so I don't want to have to use that much gravel because I'm running out. Not running out, but I do have a few more other plants in there. So what I'm gonna do is just cut it in this way. Now I have basically a mini container. Grab some of these rocks, throw them in there. Now where did the plant go? Here it is. Again, I like putting them around it just to hold the plant down. I don't plan on putting any fish in here, but I'm thinking about putting some super red plecos in here. Only just to clean up some of that algae. To maintain some of that algae at least under control, because it is going to be in the sun. I do have wallpaper behind the tank, but I still think the algae is going to be ridiculous. And they've honestly been great algae cleaners that have like no algae in any of my tanks right now. And there was one tank that I had outside, and I put one regular bristlenose in there, and within one day it was completely clean, and he was a little bloated, so I had to take him out. But that was really cool to me. And I just like super reds. I think the bright color just stands out a lot, which is again a reason why I picked this plant. But I did see online many people telling me that this plant, once it's fully submerged, it's going to turn into a greenish color. I don't know if that's true or not, and they're saying that it's only this red color because it's grown out of the water, but we're going to find out and see. Now, as you just saw, I was using a container with just some water and then just rinsing off the gel. Another way you can do it is just by using the sink. You just take them out of the bag and just separate each one of them and use the sink water just to rush down and take off all the gel and the dead leaves. This is actually a little easier, but cleanup is more annoying with this because the gel will stay inside the drain, and if you don't take it out, it's going to end up clogging. But it does make taking off the gel off the plants quicker. So I kind of prefer this method because it just gets everything done really quick, and I like it. I like to do things quick because it doesn't waste my time or anything like that. I'm fast forwarding through this because you guys don't need to see the repetition of me just separating the plants and all the extra stuff. So this is how I plant my longer stem plants. There's no trick to it. It's basically the same exact way that I plant the shorter stem plants. But again, I just go and grab one of those little shot cups that I got from the dollar store. They're cheap, they're clear, they're small, they don't take up too much space in the aquarium, and it works. So I have some gravel that I have laying around, so I'm going to just be using some of that. Just make sure it's clean, rinse it off a few times. After I finish rinsing it off, what I'm going to be doing is taking out some of that gravel into a cup that I have here. And what I do is just put the gravel, half of the gravel that I have in the cup, in there. So I have enough space to make sure the roots stay under the gravel and not just on top when the filter is moving the water and the plant flies away. So what I'm going to do is take out the little rocks. I grab the plant from the roots. I push it in, make a little indentation in the gravel so it fits perfectly, nice and smooth, nice and comfortably. And then I just dump back the rocks on the sides, and that should be enough pressure to hold the plant in place underwater. And as you see, I'm just getting rid of the little pieces of rock that are still in the cup. And yeah, there's no trick to it. I like the way it looks. It works for me. If you guys could please like and subscribe and comment if you have any questions, anything like that, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Again, I'm new at this. Anything helps. Thank you. I mean, it's not the best looking, but did the job.